Um, I want to show you guys how to make okpa, that is with Bambara nut flour. The things we need the flour itself, the Bambara nut flour or the okpa flour. We will need salt, pepper, and maggi, no cubes, whichever one you prefer. Then we'll need red oil. Make sure the red oil is enough. Then we need warm water. We don't use cold water, we use warm water. Make sure it is warm water. Then the oil, you need to heat it up a little bit. Not boiling it, heat it up before you start using it. So the first thing you do is wash your hand. Make sure your hand is clean. Or use your hand for a little while before using the turning stick. Then mix the red oil with the Bambara nut. Pour it little by little. Make sure, then use your hand to mix it up. While mixing it, you'll be checking the oil. Okpa needs enough oil, not just tiny oil, and not too much anyway. So you don't pour it once. While you're mixing it, you're checking it out to see how the one you have poured is, if it is okay or not. So use your hand to mix it first. You can decide to use the wooden stick first to mix it, but I prefer using my hand to mix it first before using the wooden stick. Then can see the way it is. The oil is not enough for me, so I need to pour the remaining one from the pot for it to be okay for me. This is the last oil. Can see I didn't pour it once. I poured it 3 times. What I checked it before pouring the last one. So you can see the way it is with the oil yet. So after mixing the oil, I use the warm water to wash off my hands. Warm water, not hot water. You know, if it is hot water, I can't put my hand under. It must be warm water. Then once you have done that, you wash your hand properly. Wash your hand properly first before you start using the wooden stick. Then you use this to turn it. Some prefer to put pepper while they turn and the salt, whichever one. You can do that first. While you're turning it, you're adding water little by little. You must be careful. You must be careful of adding too much water to the okpa. So you keep turning it. While you're turning it, you're adding water to it. And see that there is enough oil in it. It requires oil, but not too much oil. So you don't pour it once. Gradually till you get what you want. Then the same thing is applicable to the water. You don't pour it once either. Gradually you mix it with water. You don't pour it once. You can decide to put any of these things now, but I don't put them now. Let me finish first turning it before I put the pepper, the salt, and the long cube. You need to turn it very well. Watch me while I do it. Make sure you turn it. Turn it this way for a while before you start mixing it, okay? Make sure there is no seed on it, and make sure it is smooth. It needs to be smooth. Okay guys, watch me. You can see how smooth it is. Once you're through with the turning, make sure every of the knot is smooth. Once you're through, you add your pepper. You add your pepper, your salt to it. Add your salt, the pepper first, sorry. Then the salt, you need to be careful with the salt. It should be small, please, because if salt is too much, you won't be able to eat it. You can see I brought out small salt. Then the nut cube, you break it in. Then you turn. While you're turning, mix everything together. Then you turn it well. If you're the type that likes pepper, you put enough pepper for yourself. But you need to be careful of salt. And the Maggi too does not need to be too much. You can see the quantity. So yeah, once you mix it, then you start adding water. Start adding warm water to it. Now while turning it, you need to be careful because of the water, so it does not pour out. So you keep adding water. Now when you add water until you get the perfect mixture. Now you need to be careful with the water. Two things: it does not need to be watery, and secondly, it should not be too thick. Now watch my wooden stick. You can see it. If the mixture is watery, you will not get a perfect okpa. Now it does not need to be watery. Once you take your wooden stick up and it takes time to drop gradually, it's perfect. But once you add too much water, you take it up, you see that everything in the wood, you don't need to get the, when you test the salt, you don't need to get the salt taste now. It should not be salty now. You get, just make sure it's mild, so that when you cook it, after cooking it, the salt comes out, so you don't need it to be salty now. So be careful of salt water. Most importantly, it should not be too thick, it should not be watery. Watch my wooden stick. If I take it off, it takes time for everything to drop out. But if it takes, so be careful the way you add water to your Bambara nut. Now the mixture is ready. The next thing is to put it to a nylon, then put it in the fire, cook it for like 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then our Bambara nut is ready. After turning it, mixing it perfectly the way you want it, make sure it's not watery. Then it's time to put it in your nylon. Now, the size you decide to tie it is by choice. You can decide to tie it big, big, small, small, tiny, tiny, whatever. Then you get your spoon. It's preferable you get a spoon that has this thickness, to help you pour it easily. Like me, I prefer going two on each. Okay, and tie it. Keep it together under nylon. While you're doing it, make sure you're turning it equally, and it needs to be thick. When you see the thickness, don't be scared. It needs to be thick. Okay. You can decide to increase it, it's by choice. Whichever size you decide to go to go. If this is too small, you add yours. Keep it. That's how you keep tying it anyway till you finish all the So once you finish tying it, you put it inside the water. Look at the pot of water. It's boiling. Make sure it's boiling before you put it inside. Okay, then you mix it, put it in, all of them. You mix it. You know, it's been long. I've been tying it since, so I need to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed before putting it inside the pot. Then once you finish putting it inside the pot, you cover it, leave it for like 45 minutes to 1 hour, okay, before you bring it down. Hey guys, our okpa is ready. See it? It's ready. I cooked it for 48 minutes. So let's check it out. And see how wow. I love this. I love this. Very nice. It tastes cool. So this is how it will look when it's ready to eat.